scares me about the bad calls that happened in that match, and I can think of two right off the top of my head that went against Arsenal. I've made no bones about the fact that I feel that those things even themselves out over the course of a year, and it's that type of stuff that bothers me and worries me a little bit about a fortnight from now when we go into their joint and try to dismantle them. I can. It's funny, Tim. You were talking about dreams prior to us getting really kicked off, right? Do you remember the dream you had?
Was it a ghetto dream, Tim?
No, I talked about it while we were recording.
Was it? Okay. So Tim had a dream. So I had a dream as well. And the dream that
Oh, really, Martin Luther?
Yeah, I had a dream.
No, it's that song, Ghetto Dreams.
Yeah, the dream
you never heard of that?
The dream I had is we're playing Arsenal, and it's this upcoming match. We're at the pub. All of us are there. And it's cram-packed, and then their lot has those 12 or whatever that show up every week.
Was Tim actually sitting with us?
He was, because we were playing.
Did he leave? Did he leave?
No.
To go sit with other people?
We were winning 4-0 after the end of the first half. And it was one of those dreams where all of a sudden I was transformed into the Spurs locker room. And I'm sitting there on the bench in between a couple of gray players. I don't know who they are, no faces, no nothing. And Pochettino walks in, and I'm expecting this typical Pochettino broken English rah-rah chant. Let's change this up a little bit tactically here and move on. He walks in the room, and he looks at everybody, and he just stands there, and it's like complete crickets. All you hear is like the water dripping from a faucet or the air conditioner running. And he simply looks at everybody, and he says, "Leave no doubt." Turns around and walks out of the room. And that is what I feel Spurs is about under Pochettino. I think it's just it's encapsulating, it's entrancing, and I'm so much looking forward to 2 weeks from now when we get to go out there and beat the crap out of them in their own house. I'm totally diverging. I have no idea where I'm at in the rundown. I don't care. But let's talk about Pochettino. Since 2014, Spurs have won more home fixture Premier League points than any other club at home. Simon, I know you're kind of our anorak and statistical, analytical guy. I know you kind of looked up some of this, yes?
Paging Simon Dodsworth.
Did he go get a beer?
Well, that was a really good point.
I'm back. What was the question? I was in the loo.
Oh, okay. So since Pochettino joined Tottenham in 2014, Spurs have won more home fixture Premier League points than any other club. West Ham, Fulham, Arsenal, Chelsea, Palace, you name it. I know you probably went back and looked some of this up when I put this in the rundown. Any thoughts on that?
So London clubs, right?
Yes.
In London matches.
London.
So, well, and again, we still got. You're talking home and away. We still got a bunch of games this season, so it's a good record. But I kind of, as much as I want to be the best in London, and there was a time I used to actually, in my anorak world, run a little table on how we did and who the best managers were in London derbies back in a time when our managers were like changed every season. So it's good to see that Poch is running that. But I'll bring up what I brought up last week. He's going to start winning away at the Big Six. It's great that we do well against them at home. But we got to start getting the points on the road against them, and he's only had the one game granted so far this season, and that didn't work out. So Arsenal's up next, right?
Yep.
And I gotta think. I know we're not going to do predictions this week. I gotta think he is so up for that game. They're in the descendancy. We're in the ascendancy. We have to go there and make a statement and prove a point.
I totally agree.
And it's a London derby, so it answers your question, right?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I have contribution by way of the great at Nathan A. Clark. Nobody's very good at winning against the Big Six away.
That is true.
Funnily enough, Jurgen Klopp is the best at it. He has won twice, drawn thrice, lost twice for a total of 9 points.
What about the
Conte's
bottom six? He's been
fair point. He's been terrible there. Yeah, you're right. So, yep. Conte, 7 points, won twice, drawn once, lost thrice. Pep, the same. And Jose, if this doesn't speak to the narrative of Premier League writers, Pochettino's not even on here. I think he's got 2 points, though. Mourinho, right, won none. Hasn't won any. Drawn 3, lost 3. Oh, actually, here's Poch. Poch won none, drawn 2, lost 4. And Wenger.
What time frame?
Last 2 seasons.
No. Yeah. You're right.
2 and 5. So, look, nobody's very, very good at it. But he's been pretty good. Again.
Well, I don't know if you listened to last week's show.
Has he won there? He's won there once, right?
Who?
Poch. He's won once at the Emirates, right?
No, never.
Never won?
Harry Redknapp was the last manager to win there in 2010.
Yeah, City was the last match.
Yeah. Right, and that was 2014.
He's drawn twice, right?
16. What's that?
He's drawn twice there. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and lost.
Yeah.
Lost 1, drew 2. I think they did the double in against us in the first season, which was horrible.
Yeah, it's a massive match. I mean, it's always a massive match, but
but the point I made last week was it's a club thing, and I mean, as much as that sounds daft, the club we went back 10 years last week.
Yeah.
And it's bad. Harry has the best record, granted, 4 seasons, almost as long as Poch, and he had won only 3 games in his tenure away at those said Premier League rivals. I think twice at City and once at Arsenal. And maybe once at Liverpool, I don't remember. But anyway, it's not a fantastic record. And if you're saying that that's the same for all of them, then that's the media picking on Spurs again, because they made a big deal of it last week. They really did.
Well, we all care about this one deeply, and I'm gonna say this at the risk of making an ass of myself, but I do that pretty regularly here anyway, so it shouldn't matter. But I think that our display at Wembley against Madrid goes far farther in helping us win at the Emirates than pursuit of the Caribbean Crap Cup.
Well, thank you for
Can't
that.
let it go. Can't let it go.
Yeah, really.
Apparently not. What's next, Mr. Saxton?
Is it injury time?
Let's see. We're about an hour and 20 minutes into this thing. So before we go any further, we need to stop and we need to pause because it is finally here. Tim's Master of the Macabre injury update theme music from our own Samuel L. Zerowell.
You should all start listening right now. Just
So we don't have a match obviously next week, but we've suffered a lot of injuries here lately, so I just want to concentrate solely on Spurs. Tim said he was going to have some stuff prepared, so Timmy, take it away.
Pause, Tim. Pause. Allow for the music to be edited in. Music edited in. Tim, go.
It was edited in until Sam was speaking over the editing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Love it.
Timmy, get out the Ben Gay. You know what time it is. Groin pull. Deep thigh bruise.
All right, so with our injuries, I don't really have too much information for you right now because a lot of it's something that's really just come up over the last 24 hours. Dele Alli's injury, Hugo's injury, Michel's injury, Harry Winks picked one up in the match. Those are things that have happened really recently, and we don't have any scans, any further information, any press conferences to talk about them. What I think is a good sign from these is it'll give some of these players some much needed rest over the international break where they would otherwise be going on to play for their country. The ones that I think you can kind of be concerned about are going to be Toby, he's having scans. Supposedly he was going to have scans the day following our match against Real Madrid, and they haven't announced the results of those. So I don't know what those are going to be. I'm really, really hoping he's available for the North London derby. But
any Call of Duty sightings?
No Call of Duty sightings, and actually, there was some sightings about him helping Michelle Vorm on the new Call of Duty, which just came out. So if you want to play, add me at Timmah, TIMMAH621 on PlayStation 4. I have been playing nonstop Call of Duty World War II.
You're a grown man.
I know. My wife gives me looks.
Well, on grown man topics, Sam, I just got the 2018 Tottenham calendar, so I'm grown man too.
And you sprained your wrist playing fucking FIFA 18, so don't be giving me any shit about Tim any shit about fucking.
God, I am a hypocrite.
How'd you
Sam did not sprain his wrist?
You're not supposed to remember these things.
18.
Imagine telling your doctor why your wrist hurts.
Oh my god.
But real quick, just wrapping up the injuries. The only one we really have an update on is Victor Wanyama. He has started gardening at Hotspur Way this past week.
That was an interesting Twitter discussion. I'm glad you brought that up because
he was putting out like
he has started field work is what the page put out. So Vass asked, "What the fuck is field work?" And I said, "Well, that means he can see the field from the physio room."
No, he's
that's
like
all it means.
like autumn mulch.
Yeah, he's planting
around the
flowers around.
No, he's learning how to do the certain designs on the pitch.
Oh, the crisscrosses with the
I think that's what it is, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's quite a skill.
Hopefully he's not been eating the same pie shop that Dan
life
was eating
after
at.
football. He's going to be a horticulturalist.
So Kenny.
Yes.
I know you got a little flayed on Twitter for the graphic that NBC put up about City's. So City have 31 points. What is it? They've just dropped the 2, right?
Yeah, they had one draw.
So they're 10-1 for 31 points. The only start to a season that is better than that is our double winning side from 60-61. And when the graphic went up on NBC after the City Arsenal game, it showed it. Had an asterisk because it wasn't just us. I think there was a Liverpool side from the 70s that was in there as well. And they calculated everything from the old 2 points for a win system, which changed in the 81-82 season. That was the first season. And for the benefit of younger listeners who did not know, there was a different system than the 3 points for a win system. It used to be 2 points for a win, 1 for a draw, nothing for a loss, all the way from the inception of football, I'm assuming, up to the 81-82 season when it changed. And that's why they had to use that comparison and grade that. So I wanted to make sure that Ken wasn't left hanging and that when he put that graphic up, he was going on the assumption that on what information was shown there. And it's credit to the double winning team to have started the season with 11 straight wins, but here's City, who could arguably have a season that could eclipse those wankers and their invincibles. I know that's a very, very tall ask for any club to go a season unbeaten, but the way they're going, they could run away with it and not drop a lot of points as well.
I think it's going to be really interesting the first time that we play them. I can fully see NBC touting up that match as the immovable object against the irresistible force. Our defense versus their offense, and then the attacking, counterattacking. Listen, City is so good on the counterattack. From an Arsenal corner this morning, they were in the attacking third, I think within 4 seconds, with 4 players. And when you have Sterling and Sonny and Aguero et al. Bombing forward, and you're stuck at the back with 3 center backs, there's going to be some opportunities there. So they are very good. They bought the defense that they wanted to buy. They spent their $250 million or whatever it is that they spent. But I look at this list, and it's